What is your purpose here? How many of you are there?
Ruthless invaders, a defenseless planet. Battle beyond the stars. A lone youth escapes on a last-ditch mission that begins at the edge of the universe. The story of a boy who finds more than he expected. Burn. And all he can handle.
Does your species have kissing?
Oh, yes. We have that.
Try one. That's a hot dog. It comes from Earth. Do you like it?
There's no dog in this. Soybean meal, niacin, dextrose, and sodium nitrate flavoring.
That's what we call meat back home. Battle beyond the stars. Starring Richard Thomas, George Papard, Robert Vaughn, John Saxon, a battle beyond time, beyond space.
They set fire!
That ends in a desperate gamble.
They'll be able to board us.
It won't make any difference.
Get that hatch open!
Battle beyond the stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars. Welcome to Voyage of the Geek for another week. This 27th of April, 2017. Joining me as always, Dan Miller.
Hello, hello.
And our recurring yet absent guest over the last couple of months, Rick Legato. Great to have you on board.
Hello, gentlemen. Hello.
And tonight we're having a look at the classic 80s sci-fi Battle Beyond the Stars. The Corman, Roger Corman's sci-fi, which seems to be a pattern for us.
We'll have to underline. Well, it's hard to avoid that pattern if you go to IMDb. There's like 500 things in that pattern that he's made.
And I think it's pure luck. I don't think we deliberately picked two Roger Corman movies to have a look at together as a trio.
No, it's not luck. It's not luck.
No.
Pick two B-grade anythings and 1.5 of them will be Roger Corman.
Absolutely. So we all watched the movie recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, as in the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see it before that, though?
I had a preview a few weeks before.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't see it in its original run.
No, I don't think I did. No.
Yeah, me neither.
No,
I believe
so either.
it didn't come out until 2001 on DVD.
Yeah, it was 1983 or something.
Yeah,
Rather.
so it may have come out on VHS, but it...
Have I seen it? I must have seen it.
Yeah,
No, I must have seen it on like VHS.
I mean, for the time...
Because I knew it. When I went over to watch it the last time, I knew it. You know, mate said, "Come over and watch Battle," and I was, oh yeah, that movie, yeah.
I was surprised that I hadn't seen it actually, because that's the sort of thing I would have at 13. Because you said 1983.
Yeah.
I would have definitely been there. So I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, I have no recollection of it, so I'm pretty sure I never saw it in its original state or at any time through the 80s. I would have remembered it. I think it would have been the sort of film I got into and at the time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So it came out the same year as Flash Gordon, Empire Strikes Back.
It so looks like Flash Gordon, really, doesn't it? And it so doesn't look like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar. You can see the sort of parallels.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah.
If Flash Gordon, if the musical score was made by some guy on some synthesizers, wannabe composer, as opposed to Queen, it may have been a far more comparable movie.
Actually, my first note on my bit of papyrus here is John Williams' "It Ain't."
No, and I saw some trivia. I might be able to bring it up here. There was some trivia around the musical score in relation to.
I think they used the term discount John Williams.
Yeah, and the guy who did the sound had something to do with the Star Trek motion picture, which would have come out a year or two before that, and he rehashed a lot of the.
It did actually sound very Star Trek-y.
He took a lot of the sounds from
uplifting. Do.
Yeah, I could feel a lot of the beats. You know, those sort of big movie, sci-fi opera beats in there. But like you were saying, it's sort of a discount John Williams. It was. Instead of it was like, just didn't quite make it there.
Yeah, and it missed it lacked that grandiose,
the epicness,
the depth. Like when you listen to John Williams, his music has layers of depth. This was just the surface. It's sort of the difference between a stereo ghetto blaster and a transistor radio. It just was empty a little bit.
But they definitely had all of those instruments there. Well, perhaps we should talk about the music later. But, they had all of the sort of trumpets and they had orchestra and strings and all sorts of things. So they were there. They were sort of in the ballpark.
All the musicians turned up, the same ones as John Williams.
And we were saying, they just read the score and they play the thing and then they go home for the night.
That's it. One group with their head held high and another group with their head held buried in a large lager. So, what were your first thoughts? I want to know what you first thought when the credits rolled. Right? What was the first thing that you thought when you finished watching the film?
Finished watching the film.
So you finished watching it. What was the first thought when you were reviewing in your mind in that moment? So it would be your freshest opinion of the film, right? Not after contemplation. I just want to know how you felt. Did you feel, for me, a little bit deja vu-y? I couldn't really put my finger on it, right? Yeah. Well, I could, but I wasn't aware of just how much. But that was my first instant. What was your first instant there after the credits rolled?
Well, I have to say, sort of towards the last 15 minutes, this idea or question popped up in my mind is there's so many similarities to Star Wars, yet it's nowhere near as good. What is it about this that makes it not Star Wars and makes it? And so that was.
So you went straight to ponder.
Yeah, I went straight to ponder.
You were perplexed with trying to answer that question. Yeah, and I can understand that.
Well, when I first finished it, and this was a couple of weeks ago, I was drinking whiskey and yelling.
So it drove you to drink. No, you don't need to say anymore.
I was on a couch with my mates, and it was like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
We were kind of a bit glad that it was over, I think. But no, kind of my first thought is just the cheesy reminiscence, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of...
And it's hard not to think immediately like, God, that was a different time.
Yeah.
For cinema, wasn't it? That what we accepted.
Yeah, and I sort of wonder would I have... I don't know, I can't remember my thoughts of it back in the day when I would have, like I was saying, seen it on VHS or something or other. I guess I would have been mildly impressed. I would have been like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, But, there's a long distance between that and Star Wars, as you were sort of identifying.
So what did we think about the narrative, gentlemen? Let's start out with the story.
Well, I thought I was being exceptionally clever by figuring out this was a retelling
Yes.
of the Magnificent Seven. And I thought I'll bring that pithy point to the podcast, but then I just realised it's on the poster.
And
Seven outlaw mercenaries.
they're unashamed. In fact, the name of the
Seven.
people that lived on the planet
Yeah.
were the Akira,
Oh, okay. What was the meaning of that?
because Kurosawa's Seven Samurai
Oh, that's
is
a good
what
thought. That's a good thought.
Magnificent Seven was based on. They're unashamed. They're actually, if you look at their press information and things like that, they named the planet Akira, and the people that lived on it were Akira,
Yeah.
basically named after
Good pickup. Good pickup.
Akira. Oh, it's in the trivia notes.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's no way I would have picked that up in the film. And so yes, that was my sense of deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of my all-time favourite westerns is Magnificent Seven.
I just watched the remake of that, actually.
The new one is fantastic. The
Oh, I
new
haven't
version
seen the
with
new
Denzel.
Yeah, and Ethan Hawke and...
Yeah, it's a who's who, like Magnificent Seven was in the day as well. And I found it funny that the Vaughn, the actor in all black here, he was almost the same character in Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
As the story goes, he was supposed to play the guy that Steve McQueen played in Magnificent Seven, which was the best role. Everyone believed that, except for the Yul Brynner role, the cowboy, the Steve McQueen character was, and he was set to play that, and then got switched out, and he became the yellow gunman. He was brilliant, but he'd lost his nerve
Yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
film.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And that must have sucked because he kind of got swapped out for the B-roll there, didn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I thought that was weird that you get someone to act in the homage to the Magnificent Seven from Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
So, incidentally, Vaughn and the cowboy, played by George Papard, who later became better known to a lot of younger people, I guess, for being Hannibal Lecter not Hannibal Lecter,
Just Hannibal.
just Hannibal in The A-Team.
Yep.
Which was a great role. It's a great character.
I love it when a plan comes
I
together.
love it when a plan comes together. Suck it on a stogie. Those two guys made up the bulk of the budget for this film. It was a $2 million budget. Most of it went to those two, and it was the most expensive Corman film at the time when they made it. So every film prior to that was less than $2 million.
All right,
What
save
about-
the technical stuff.
Yes,
save
let's-
the technical
let's get
stuff.
back to
There's a lot of
narrative.
good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I thought the parallels with Star Wars were all over the place. You've got Richard Thomas, who's literally best known for being a farm boy.
John Boy
Yeah, John Boy.
from the
being-
Waltons.
Yeah, being the Luke Skywalker farm boy.
Yeah. One of the most famous
Character.
cheek moles that you'll ever see in cinema.
Yeah. I thought the villain's starship was just like the Star Destroyer. Interesting, the one thing they really differed from Star Wars is, the female, not the Valkyrie, the other one was the more damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Although she kind of had more to offer later on.
Later on, yes. Yeah.
But I thought, in comparison to Princess Leia,
There wasn't a lot of strength in her character.
yeah. Whereas Princess Leia sort of kicked ass from the beginning.
Yeah. If you mix her with the Valkyrie chick, you've probably got more closer to
Princess
to
Leia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Saint MX.
Yeah.
X-Men. Sorry, Saint X-Men.
Dan, the narrative. What were your thoughts, sir? The story and how it unfolded.
Well, the story is the Magnificent Seven, right?
So, should we give a quick synopsis? A little.
Yeah, I can give you a quick synopsis straight away. Actually,
Yeah.
the synopsis is that there are some farmers and there are some bad guys, and the bad guys are going to turn up in a while and steal,
Conveniently, in 7 rotations.
in 7 rotations. That's right, and steal all the farmers' food.
Yeah.
This is the basic plan.
Yeah.
And so the farmers can't fight for themselves, and so they have to hire mercenaries.
Yep.
And they hire mercenaries, and a lot / all of the mercenaries die to defend the village.
The official IMDb is a young farmer sets out to recruit mercenaries to defend his peaceful planet, which is under threat of invasion by an evil tyrant, Sador, and his armada of aggressors. So let's just jump over to Seven Samurai, which is a poor village under attack by bandits, recruits 7 unemployed samurais to help them defend themselves. And then we jump back to the Magnificent Seven, which is an oppressed Mexican peasant village, hires 7 gunfighters. So there's just no attempt at creativity on the surface at all, is there? It's just straight up this story in that genre.
There are some. They lose details though. This is one of the things that I was thinking is that the Kurosawa one it's a bit of a it's like a masterpiece. That's why they're copying it, right? Because it's friggin' awesome.
Yep.
I'll give you start at the start. Maybe we can kind of go through the story, perhaps in a little bit of detail. At the start, one of the beats that they miss, they have different, is that at the start of the Kurosawa one, the 2 evil bandits are on a hilltop. Now, this is my memory. Check my memory, or just accept that this is probably 50% true.
I've never seen the Seven Samurai, and I can't believe I'm saying that because so much cinema that I love is based on it.
Anyway, the 2 bandits, the 2 bad guys, are like standing on the hill, and they're overlooking the village. And one says to the other, this looks like their harvest is almost complete. It's almost ready. And the other one says, yeah, okay, cool. And then the first one says, all right, let's go back and get all our men. We'll turn up here and say, give them 3 weeks to harvest the stuff. We'll kill a lot of them and steal all their food. Huzzah! And then they gallop off. In the bushes, where the bandits didn't see, is one of the farmers is like biting on his jaw. He's like terrified. He's like, fuck! And then he runs off down to the village, right? But you see, in this one, what happens is Sador, the bad guy, just turns up and just starts yelling in a microphone. It's like, hey, everybody, I'm going to kill you tomorrow.
Listen to me.
Yes, I want to steal your stuff. And 7 rotations, blah, blah, blah. I'll be back.
For no real reason. Like, can you remember? Did he have a specific agenda other than dominance?
Here's what I thought of it. Yeah, so it's the scriptwriters saying, well, this guy's evil, so we better make him do evil things. Yeah. If you remember, there's another story beat just before that, and that is that there's a satellite. And what Sador does is he arrives, and there's a satellite, and it's just some, boring scientist dudes checking their data. Oh, yes, the weather matrix is working well today. And then Sador says, destroy them, and blows them up. But what I was thinking is, that's the perfect setup for the actual story. Is if they just put the satellite off to the side somewhere, and you just have Sador say, all right, look, we can see, we've scanned the planet,
we picked up that transmission.
Let's go back and get our cargo ships. And then meanwhile, these guys are on the satellite listening in, and then the story can take off.
And then the 7 days make sense.
Yes, and then the 7 days make sense.
Like, I'm going to go over here, and I know you're not going to prepare for my re-arrival, so I'm not worried. I'm just going to go over here. Whereas going and getting something, reinforcements or whatever. That's
true. That's a very good point.
It's exactly right. It's great.
So what happens next, right, is that then there's, panic on the planet, right? We're not missing anything, right?
No.
There's panic on the planet. And then there's a couple of idiots who, are trying to work out a plan, right? And you've got the bureaucratic religious idiot who's like, we can't do anything because we're pathetic, And then you've got the old crusty dude who can't do anything either. Ex-hero, who's kind of got
Obi-Wan Kenobi character.
Obi-Wan blind guy,
Nice point, yeah. So anyway, and he's saying, rah, we should actually stand up for ourselves. Then in the middle of all of that, that guy is saying, oh, I know where there's some weapons, or there's some guy who knows about weapons. He's over there on that spaceship. And that's when our hero turns up, named Shad. And
there's something to be the way you said that.
Well, it's Shad.
I think it's Shad, yeah.
And I think that's actually a great example of something that's wrong with the script. Is the people, the way they speak, they could be at the mall. They haven't done anything to make it exotic. Like Star Wars, they have parsecs. Stuff like that. They don't use certain nouns. They have their own language slightly.
There's no colloquialisms. There's no dialect that's Earth based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys,
It's just straight English.
yeah, with a few made-up words here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas these guys, like, they could be down the mall.
Yeah, no, you're right. And is that the difference? Maybe we might come back to this later, but is that the difference of, I know for a fact it was shot in Venice.
Oh.
Venice Beach,
Oh,
California.
right, I was going to say.
No.
I was just doing a little bit of geographical math inside my head there.
It's a Euro masterpiece.
Yeah.
Whereas, the heavy British influence on Star Wars, especially the accents and they spoke in that very English manner, and even the American accents weren't thick American accents. That helped the dialogue be spoken in an off-worldly way without making it stupid, because you can go too far with that.
Exactly.
It's a fine balance when you've got your pseudo-scientific gobbledygook that you got to speak.
And you put it in
the-
there for no reason other than for that.
Yeah.
Continue, sir.
Okay, so what happens then is, and this is important story beat, as you know, I like the journey of the hero, and this is a very journey of the hero story, is that Shad volunteers to be the hero,
Yes.
and from my perspective, that's a no-no.
All right.
We don't want big noting heroes who
You're
say,
right, you're
I'm
right.
going to be the hero. Let me be the hero.
The hero's supposed to go, I don't want to do...
I'm not worthy. I cannot actually do this
right.
because I'm like you, the audience.
You can be
I'm like-
selected and then go, no, not
Yeah,
me,
no.
pick someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
right.
right. You're exactly right.
and they have to be forced into it. And
So that's a big cross through the hero's journey.
yeah. So what I've got here. Sorry, I'll pop to you in a second. What I've got here is I made a note for why everybody joined the fight. Right. So my note here is, why does Shad join the fight? And his answer is destiny, something, and he knows how to fly a spaceship.
Love it. I'm going to save the world because I've got the driver's license.
Yeah.
Okay, bring the car around.
Right. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, what's Luke Skywalker? He wants an adventure, but he has no idea what he's
He wants to
getting
join the alliance.
Yeah. And
Yeah, the
that's-
rebellion. He wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
join the rebellion and get off the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants out.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to save. Oh, I don't know. The
He
actual
doesn't want to
journey.
be the hero. He just wants to
Well,
be
the
part
journey
of
is.
Well,
yeah.
he's never pitched the rebellion by Obi-Wan. He's saying, we've got to take the plans to a planet. It's like, fucking delivery driver? I'm not a delivery guy. I want to save the world, sort of thing. And then finds himself
Yeah.
in the heroic place.
What we're talking about is the refusal of the call.
That's right.
Okay. So yes, he does. Sort of want to, but he doesn't want to fight. Well, I suppose he does want to fight the Empire. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But the refusal of the call for Luke Skywalker comes in a different way, and that's that his parents won't let him.
Yes.
You can't. You've got to
Yeah.
do the
A
harvest.
sense of
You
obligation
can't- Yeah, you stupid
stops you.
dreamer.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
stay at home and do your chores.
I think he even says that. He says, it's not like I love the Empire. I hate them.
Yeah,
But
and
I can't do anything about it.
and he gets forced into it when
That's true.
when the Empire they kill his family.
That's right.
And it's like he's got no option now. Literally, there's no option.
Yeah.
Right. So he has to do it.
So the guy that has incinerated his uncle and auntie set the whole trilogy in motion.
yes. That guy.
There's a lot of that going around. Have you, just slightly off topic, have you seen the interview with Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
put himself in the film in the cameo.
Oh, did he?
He runs down the hallway right at the very end when Darth Vader's hacking people apart, and he pulls the thing that releases the ship to fly away. And the reason why he did it is that he tried, and he's straight faced in his English comedy sort of dry wit way, looks straight down the camera and says, so essentially the entire balance of the universe came down to the actions of this one person.
Yeah.
And not only that, it guarantees that I am now in the New Hope.
Yeah. I think he went even further and said, "I saved the."
Yeah, I saved the universe.
Yeah, saved the universe
By pulling this thing, I saved the universe.
which is fair
So
enough.
there's a lot of that
Yeah.
going around at the moment, that this one person is the person that changed the course of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But we move off topic slightly.
So after that, what happens? Our hero then essentially is going to go on his journey, And he actually then collects the first samurai,
Yes.
which is the spaceship.
Is the first samurai the spaceship? I didn't even consider that.
Yes. The first samurai is Nell the spaceship.
Because there's any number of them. Like the lizard guy had two little warm guys, so they could have been
No,
separate
they're a
samurais.
subcategory, I
Yeah,
reckon.
yeah, that's
They're
what I
a
thought.
subcategory.
I thought there's sub teams.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
there? Like the four
Yeah.
identical three-eyed guys. They're one samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't consider Nell.
No,
Yeah.
not that
I thought it was the guy who doesn't say anything. He throws a
Oh,
spear.
we got to get to that guy. Can you pull up the
There is an image, isn't there? Yeah.
He looks like
Or is
Arnold Schwarzenegger in a kind of a gimp suit. Yeah. See, he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a gimp suit. You know,
I'll freeze on.
He looks like Conan the Barbarian,
poster,
kind of.
yeah.
In space.
And he's way off to the edge there with
Yeah.
his spear, and he chucks the spear once. Like there's none of that. So he's literally there. So I didn't put him down as a samurai because he got dragged along by
Yeah.
someone, didn't he?
By
By the lizard
guy.
man.
Yeah, Cayman is his name.
Yeah.
Cayman.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
we'll get to him in a second. But okay, so the other thing that I wanted to highlight, and my stupid computer's now doing a bloody restart, of course, because karma, planets align.
And we said it, and we took the piss out of Rick's
we've
piece of
noted
paper.
that Rick's piece of paper is not doing a Windows update right at the moment. We've also noted.
I love it.
But I did want to also describe the character of each of the characters.
Yes.
So what's Shad's character before we go off too far?
He is literally the farm boy.
Yeah, whiny farm boy.
Mine had the word whiny in it.
He's whiny farm boy.
Yeah.
I wrote, he's a religious nut.
Yeah. Within a 20-minute period in the film, he's whining about having to kill someone, and then he's whining about not being allowed to kill someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, my thing was even more whiny than Luke Skywalker.
And it's the classic whiny is I wanted to go into Atashi Station and pick up some power converters.
Actually, interesting. They haven't used Richard Thomas's likeness on the poster.
I noticed that as well. He looks like a totally different guy.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody's attempted to. What's going on with her face as well? She looks horrified.
I got and even Vaughn is a bit ordinary as well. The only
Yeah.
guy that looks
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
he
as
looks
the
good.
bad guy.
Yeah.
Just another little quick side note. We've all seen the new poster for the new Star Wars movie with the she's holding the lightsaber
No,
really
I
quite
haven't.
small, and bugger, we have the power of computers. I've got to show you this. What's the rule about the big person in a movie poster, in a sci-fi movie poster?
The big villain has
Is
to be
the
up
villain.
back, and he's looking.
Right, check this out. So Star Wars 8. I think
I'm
it's
trying
8.
to ration myself on checking out even trailers and posters.
You want to go in?
I want to go
in blind.
Yeah. I don't want to have too many spoilers of any description, but it's a bit hard not to.
So Roman numerals V I I I. No.
No idea. Have a guess.
Is it-
I.
V. Oh, what's it called? Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay, so somewhere in here is going to be a movie poster. This one. What do you notice about that? That's Luke Skywalker. That's the big face.
Mm.
Who's the little face?
Slightly smaller is Kylo.
What?
Kylo Ren, who's if you watch the trailer, the helmet is smashed to pieces on the floor somewhere. So he's dumped the helmet, right? Mm-hmm. And she's the smallest. Now, from everything that I've ever seen of movie posters in the sci-fi world, especially in the Star Wars universe, the biggest person is always the bad guy because it looms over everything. The nemesis looms over the whole story, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
if you look at Rogue One,
Yeah, true.
Rogue One movie poster, it should be the same. Well, the Death Star looms over everything, but look, that's once that cleans up, that's Vader. So the biggest face is always the bad guy. why are we seeing... Anyway, I had to say it while we were talking about the poster there.
Well, it's a good thing about... we can talk about posters more, about how they arrange people and the sort of aesthetics of arranging, you
Because
know...
this looks like about 300 sci-fi movies from the 80s, doesn't it? The way this is arranged on...
It's sort of... Yeah, okay, we can critique the poster for...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all right.
I don't have a problem with it because it fits the format. And they're still using that format.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that far from... That's not far from the Rogue One I just showed you.
True. All right, back to Nell.
Nell was the first samurai.
Is the first samurai and is the spaceship.
Cool.
All right.
Second samurai.
And it also is the spaceship that has boobs in the...
I actually put notes down. They look like a pair of bollocks.
I said that too. The ball sack 1. We balled ball sack 1 and head out into the stars, which brings up a little bit of a problem trying to do Seven Samurai in outer space. Seven Samurai, when you set out to find mercenaries, you have a road. That road's going to take you past the servo and whatever. You're going to find people, right? Mm-hmm. What do you do in space?
Yeah, went around aimlessly. Yeah.
So, because I can't remember they had did they even have a first destination?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
the satellite where he found that lady whose name I can't remember.
And the guy in the iron lung.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he,
the old
that's
boy.
right, yeah.
because
And the
he
box.
had worked with the old Obi-Wan Kenobi character
that's right.
and had weapons and stuff.
So that's the actual place where they actually know where they're going.
So that's the first destination.
Yeah, so they fire up the Nell spaceship.
Ballsack 1.
Ballsack 1. And we got to work at the character. The character
let's
of there
have
it
a
is
look
there,
at it.
all right?
And it's not even that's the original model, I guess. But in the film, the balls or the breasts or whatever, however you want to look at them, are far more prominent. And there's even sort of blast damage and stuff on the front that are right where the nipples.
Yeah. And you often see it front on, so it's this symmetrical.
And it looks like in silhouette they're fallopian tubes.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
It's like, who built this? And I'm not going to tell you. We'll save it for later. But we know who built it. We'll save it for later.
We'll save it for later.
We'll save it for later.
All right, so Nell, her character, she's a sassy broad.
Yeah.
Right? She,
She's the computer
the computer, right?
Computer / ship.
Yeah, ship. So she's a sassy broad, and she's got she's real wisecracking and, a bit of a smart ass and, all right, so that's her.
Actually, I've got a question. That idea of a sentient vehicle, is that a new idea at this stage? Reasonably new? Or were they doing something?
They certainly weren't doing it in any Star Wars films.
Well, they had robots, but not.
I guess
not a
Star Trek.
vehicle.
The Star Trek computer used to talk to them. Even as early as the 60s, the Star Trek
I
computer.
mean, you
would.
had Knight Rider a bit later after this, but I was just thinking, I can't remember that many vehicles or
not
spaceships
sentient,
with
but very intelligent in
personalities.
Star Trek.
Some of them speak, but you're right. I don't think I remember.
Yeah, you might be right, because at one point she takes over the guns.
Yeah, and she's got a bit of personality, so maybe too shave to them to do something
Yeah.
not that well known.
Yeah.
To make a character out of a vehicle.
Yep. No, that's fair.
I mean, I'm sure they're probably not the first, but it certainly hadn't been
Yeah.
done much,
Yeah.
to my knowledge.
So after that, they head off to this space station or something or other, and this is where we're going to pick up our. I don't know if it's our second samurai.
Or the
Yeah,
damsel.
I was wondering
Is she
about that. The damsel.
Yeah.
Is she the love interest or the
Yeah.
or the second samurai? Because does she
Maybe
not
she's both.
participate
She
in the
does.
battle?
She does participate.
She does participate in the battle, but yeah, I don't think.
Does she help them out with their computers and stuff?
Yeah, she does.
Is that her?
Yeah, she's a
Twiddling the rods?
computer, specialist or something or
She
other.
could be a samurai. I'm going to call her a
Yeah,
samurai.
let's count her in for now and see if
Because
we
she's
end
not
up with
useless.
7 or 8.
She's not making sandwiches like the crab people.
She's next to useless. She's next to.
Well, no. Didn't she set up the defense?
Yeah.
The warning to tell us.
She figured
was-
out the strategy. Her
was
computer.
twiddling the rods, the coloured rods.
No, that was another guy. but
That's
that was
the chick that latched onto the cowboy.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
right.
that's based on her plans, though, because she figures out all the possible strategies.
Yeah, that's right.
So they go and meet her dad, who's some sort of robot machine.
Yeah.
You know, he's a cybernetic.
He's a head hanging out of a
Yeah,
box.
he's a head on a box for some reason.
Welcome aboard. You're staying here. Give us your sperm. That's pretty
Yeah.
much his whole.
Yeah, and he was keen for some sperm, it would seem, because he wanted to get his daughter knocked up.
And the way he introduces it is, so you've met my daughter then. You won't be leaving.
And I didn't understand why Richard Thomas didn't come up with a middle ground solution. Like, you can have some sperm, but I have to go.
Yeah. You can
I got half
negotiate
an
about
hour.
this. Yeah.
And how quickly was she convinced to get in the ship?
Yeah.
They tried to make it seem like, oh no, it was almost like she was the reluctant hero, you know.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I can't. I've got obligations here, and then like he doesn't even leave the car park, and she's
Right.
I'm right with you, baby.
Right.
The only time that it's,
2-minute conversation. I'm with you. You tell me where I've got to go.
it's the only time it's been done worse is probably in that last Star Wars prequel.
Yeah.
Where Anakin seems to decide pretty quickly that he's going to go to the dark side.
This is like a seduction, right?
Yeah.
A seduction,
Yeah.
and they have to be handled correctly, and that's why I chose to sort of record why and how each of the samurais, you know, joined the crew.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've got to complete a seduction in the story. We've got to seduce them to do it. So my memory of the chick is that, she doesn't want to go. Am I right? Does she not want to
Well,
go?
at first she doesn't want to go. Well,
I don't think
he's saying you've got to leave.
Occurred to her.
Come with me now, because he's trying to escape, right? And he wants to take her with her because she feels trapped.
Yeah.
Or does she feel trapped, or he just assumes that she's trapped?
Yeah, I think it becomes clear she's never even thought about it. Like, her whole
Yeah.
life is very insular.
Yeah.
And this is the first time.
So she doesn't even know that she's trapped until he says, "You're trapped. Come with me."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she escapes, gets in a ship, goes out, blasts off, sort of thing. Gets on the radio, says, "I'm with you, baby." And then he says, "Good, okay, go over there and get some." Like, doesn't even. There's not even a moment.
Okay, so my
okay, I've
computer's
got some
come back-
errands for you.
My
Oh,
computer's come back, and I've got here, refuses the call, then joins for no reason.
Yeah. No, that's it. And then gets told to go over and pick up some milk on the way home, sort of thing.
I've got a note here that one of the things I liked about her was that quite unexpected in this film, how she's tuning up the android and he's actually singing opera.
Oh, was
While she's tuning him up, he's actually...
really? I
Yeah.
missed it. I missed
And
that.
I
The
thought-
guy, the android in half.
in half. He's actually singing.
Oh, right, okay.
He's actually singing while
Yes, I think I do remember. I think I remember thinking that she was like using him like your iPod
Yeah.
or something or other. Yeah.
And I just thought that was, that's saying I would expect done now, not back then.
Yeah, that was pretty innovative. I agree.
Yep.
All right, her character, I've got written down here, brave little ankle-twisting complainer and floppy wet noodle.
That's pretty accurate. Yep. So far we've got whiny farm boy,
Yes.
and we've got what you.
We've
just
got
said.
Nell, the
and Nell.
sassy broad.
sassy broad. Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, I put it down as one of the samurai. She's one of the samurai.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that I also noted, and this will be important later, that the pair of them are virgins.
Ah, yes.
This is also important to their character.
Yep.
They're both possibly eternal virgins as well.
Forever.
Yes, forever.
Yep.
It's part of being a...
Despite the best efforts
Useless
of
floppy
the
wet
Valkyrie, who wants to educate everyone on it.
Yes, so we'll
The
definitely...
innuendos just comes in hard and fast.
We will
later
have
on.
to. We will have to go down and discuss the details of that when we get to
Valkyrie.
it. All right, so they leave the space station, and then I'm not sure quite what happens after that. They tend to be
Well,
in
they split up.
space.
They split up almost
well-
immediately.
Well, Shad is off on his journey to do whatever he needs to do.
He goes to find someone else.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I don't know
really
what he
have
was
a
doing.
direction.
I
as
don't know
far
what
as-
he was supposed to be doing. I think he might have. Well, anyway, he was wandering around in space, and it's like, we're picking up a weird thing on the scanner, Captain. And it's like, oh, let's go and investigate the weird thing.
Yeah, and I think it's just happenstance that he finds Vaughn.
No. The next one he finds is Space Cowboy.
Actually, he's on the way to where the
Does he?
Vaughn's planet, because that's supposed to be like the Mos Eisley, and he's going to pick up some mercenaries there. And on the way, that's when he bumps into Cowboy and
Yeah.
rescues him.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then and that's the situation where he finally does shoot someone, and then he whines about having to shoot someone.
That's right, because Space Cowboy is under attack,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and he has to, right. So this is a big important thing, right?
Cool.
So Space Cowboy, now, Space Cowboy. Space Cowboy is named
Ah.
Space Cowboy.
There's the opera.
That's the
yes.
opera one. Yeah.
Well done.
That's right.
So Space Cowboy is named Space Cowboy,
Yep.
which is almost as good quality naming as Old Man in Logan's Run.
Logan's Run, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, he's there. He is. This is what he's doing. He's just sitting in his spaceship, and he's just not doing anything, and he's getting shot.
Excuse me, he is sucking scotch
Uh-huh.
and smoking cigarettes
Yeah.
in what can only be estimated as a highly rich oxygen environment. It's not safe at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He does nothing. He's not even flying the ship for most of it.
No,
I
they're
think
just
there's
shooting
a
the shit out of
2-second
him.
moment where he grabs the actual handles, but for the most of it, he's just sort of sitting there with his feet up for most of the film.
He does do that a lot. So anyway, he's just sitting there, and then Shad, our superhero with Nell, and Nell has to
Whiny farm boy.
Yeah, whiny farm boy has to. He's like, Nell's like, well, we'll shoot him, and he's like,
Ballsack one.
and he's like, shoot him, and he's like, in the back.
Yeah, not in the back. So she takes over
That's right.
and
She's-
blasts the cowboy,
Yeah,
the pirates.
So yeah.
He takes a couple out though, doesn't he?
No.
I'm pretty sure he takes at least one out.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
Yeah, she makes
Alright, you
him.
might
She
be right.
forces him, makes him.
All right.
So they save the cowboy.
Either way, Space Cowboy is now
Yeah,
rescued.
they save the cowboy,
Okay.
but not through any. And then the cowboy has no sense of obligation for being saved. It's still all about the space cowboy to him at this point.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not like he's thanks for saving my life. What do you need? I'll help you out.
True, he doesn't say
it's
anything
not
like that. But it's really weird, isn't it? He
He's
doesn't
like,
say anything
oh,
like that.
by the way, I got some guns. You want some
Yeah.
guns?
I don't know
I'm
what
only
I'm
going to chuck them away.
Yeah, fuck. What am I going to do with them? I'm full.
Well, we need guns.
So Shad, ever trying to promote his cause, his cause says, and this is where we get another seduction, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the worst seductions in the thing, because it's like Shad says, I need some space mercenaries. Can you come and be a space mercenary? And then Space Cowboy says, no, it's pretty dangerous, and I'm not really interested, and I got a place to go, and I don't really care. And then Shad says, oh, come on. And then the cowboy says, well, okay then.
No, he actually does say, I suppose you saved me, something like that.
Oh, does he really?
There's something mentioned about that, and he's kind of like,
Suppose I owe you one. Well, that would be.
But see here, and you're exactly right. But that is a point against, because
if the
if
cowboy brings it up.
the cowboy brings it up, it should be Shad who says, but I just saved your life, you
You'd be dead.
asshole.
You'd be dead without
yeah.
me.
And then he said, oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So what was his motivation? What have you got there for the
So I've
cowboy's
got-
motivation?
Cowboy refuses the call, but has nothing else to do, so what the fuck?
Remembers belatedly that he owes Chad something.
yeah. No, convinces himself that he owes Chad something, so he'd better come along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really sounds like the script writer doing most of the convincing there,
Yeah.
not Shad.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Character?
Meanwhile, in another place. Oh no. Yes. Go.
Character, I've written chirpy, salt of the earth, harmless old alcoholic redneck, and gunrunner.
Yeah. I would have had Pisshead in there as well. Absolutely.
And did you notice the rebel flag on his spaceship?
Oh,
No,
no,
I
I
didn't
didn't
notice
notice
the rebel
yeah,
flag.
he has a rebel flag on his spaceship.
But I did notice that they
Look, I was
gave him a Scotch holster that actually had ice.
And
as
soda.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought
And soda.
that was one of the most phallic things. Especially when he's, and he's like talking, he's like,
And he's showing
yeah,
up.
yeah. And he's like urinating into a thing, but it's It's like,
And you can hear it.
yeah. I think it would have been more hygienic just to flop it out.
Well, you see how I stir it, love. Yeah, I like you got the character. You've nailed the character. So meanwhile, somewhere else in the vastness of space, she runs into
aha.
Lizard Dude.
Yes, but we never see that.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, she's hanging up.
No, but how did that happen?
Yeah, No, she got.
No, that's right. She sees some like
She get
space energy,
trapped
and she's that's right. And she's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, what's this?" And then next shot, she's all
Cool. So
Yeah.
she's been strung up by a lizard dude, and he's got a couple of offsiders.
Oh,
Yeah, including the Hercules reject.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's
And
Cayman.
the two little twin heaters.
Yeah.
yeah, little fire starters. All right. So it's Cayman is his name.
Yep.
All right. And he's captured her, and he's going to feed her to some monstrous beast because that will turn her into protein, and then he can sell the protein.
That's
or
right. Yeah.
something
Gets
like
good
that.
price.
I thought he was going to sell her as a slave.
Well, he was tossing it up. He was tossing up whether he sells her as a whole or cooks her up and sells the protein or something.
Right.
Yeah. So something like that's going on.
The whole while being spoken, like he's speaking out loud about these decisions while she's hanging in front of him.
Yeah. Did I say that or just think that?
Yep.
All right, and but he's got a crew. His spaceship's got a crew. So I've got Cayman as the next samurai.
Yeah, and his whole crew's part of him.
Yeah, and his whole crew was part of him.
Cayman played by Morgan Woodward for the old school people out there that saw the original Dallas. Remember Dallas, the TV series?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
J.R. Ewing's nemesis was this guy.
Okay, I got no hope of remembering Jr.
I'll show you the.
His nemesis.
let me
Was
show
he
you.
a lizard then as well?
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
This guy, who's been in lots. You would have seen him here. He's been in Star Trek, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there.
Morgan Woodward, eh?
Yeah, he's been in heaps. You definitely would have seen him. He's got the like real pitted sort of cheek. You can see him there in this one. This one here. But yeah, a stable of Cool Hand Luke. Bunch of stuff. Yeah. But
Now,
he's the guy under the mask anyway.
Yeah, as I was doing research, I think his face kept coming up, and I couldn't connect the two, obviously. Now, Cayman looks like... Who does he look like?
He looks like the lizard bounty hunter from You First Meet in Empire Strikes Back, whose name
Oh,
True.
yeah,
escaping.
yeah, no, he does look a bit like that, but he also looks like, is it Alien Nation or something, where there's a movie where a guy crash lands on a planet and he's the enemy becomes his friend to survive.
Oh, that's the
Oh, okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Enemy
look the
Mine.
Yeah, Enemy
Very
Mine.
good. Well done.
He looks like Enemy Mine to me.
He actually looks like the baddies in. There was a morning show, a children's show, where there was a family stuck on some strange planet or universe, and the lizard men were the enemy. I can't remember what's
I vaguely recall what you're talking about. Yeah.
20 shows
What
that
are
have
you?
that plot.
What are you referring to, though? You've got something
You should
in mind.
remember this one. There's a dude in The Last Starfighter.
Ah, yeah. He's Navigator,
Yeah.
Krill or something like that. Yeah.
So anyway, he looks a bit like that guy. That's what I
Absolutely,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
it turns
the
out he
character.
looks like a lot of things.
yeah. All right, so he's got a crew. Now we have to talk about his crew. And this is important.
That's right.
Right.
So there's the two heater twins.
Okay, so what are their names?
No, I can't remember.
Kelvin.
Kelvin.
No.
Oh.
No. And if you
Hang
go
on.
onto
No. What? I've got a character here in the film called Kelvin.
yes, you see.
It's Kelvin and Kelvin.
No, you see. You see, this is wrong. And we have to write in to
IMDb.
IMDb and tell them that they are wrong.
That's their species.
I love
That's
that.
their species.
Ah,
Their
you're
species
right,
is
you're right.
Calvin. God damn it.
So they have names?
Yes, they have names.
What are their names?
They have names, damn it. They're people.
There's somebody.
All right. And their names are Ermin and Thumamin.
Which is some scientific reference or something, is it?
No, but close. In the sense that you guessed that it was something.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So not close at all.
Not close at all. Completely 180 degrees off being right.
Yeah, cool.
Uman and Thuman. Now, I'm the only nerd in this room who's stupid enough to actually know this. But these two words come out of the Bible,
Oh, really?
out of
biblical.
Exodus.
Deep.
Now, the Uman and Thuman are two objects, and nobody quite knows what they are, but they're like two stones, maybe a black and white stone, or they might be two sticks, but they're part of the equipment that every good priest should carry.
Right.
Now, when you're going off to war, all right, the general will come up to the priest and he'll say, "All right, I'm thinking we should go around the left and try and stab him in the back. What does God say?" And then the priest says, "All right, I'll just whip out my Uman and Thuman," and he like chucks him on the ground. And then he says, "All right, well, one of the sticks is kind of pointing to the left, and the other one's pointing at that donkey over there. So," and then the general will say, "So," and then the priest will say, "So, do whatever you want." I don't know. But that's what they are. They're actually things. And John Smith,
The John Smith.
the inventor of Mormonism.
Well, the guy that received the profound message. What do
This
you mean?
guy- sorry.
What do you mean inventor?
Sorry.
Like he's a scientist.
Sorry, no need to
The guy that got on the
aspersions.
piss and came up with some idea so he could have a bunch of women.
Yes, no need to discuss to cast aspersions on his character.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But when he found the golden plates,
Yes.
he'd also previously, as I understand it, found 2 magic items. And these were the Uman and the Thuman. And
Every
these
time you
were-
say that, I keep wondering, why is that so close to Uma Thurman's name?
I don't know. Maybe
She's
there's a
actually-
connection.
Because that couldn't be her
There
real
might
name.
be a
Maybe
connection.
she
No,
bought-
she's actually named after a fertility goddess of some sort.
Oh, really?
I've read somewhere.
Well, maybe this is all connected.
which could be named after, it could be all interlinked.
Wow,
So-
wow, wow.
John Smith uses the Uman and the Thuman, his magic glasses and his magic microscope, to look
Cool.
inside his hat and read the actual things.
Now, all of this exists outside the movie, though, like because we never hear their names in the
No,
film.
no, we do.
Do we?
Yes, Cayman introduces them as Uman and Thuman, the Kelvins.
Ah, that's right.
Yes.
You're right.
So here's the next question. All of that history and all of that in-depth, detailed, back lore, how is that used in the movie? And
It's not.
no,
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
too cool.
no.
Cool. It's
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, only thing is the Kelvin thing, because they
Yeah.
use heat.
Yeah.
They communicate via heat.
Yes, but that's
That's-
Kelvin. That's
yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
to do with the Uman and the
Thuman,
Thuman.
Uman. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only.
And
That's got nothing, has
their
it?
names could literally be
Gary and Barry.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
a Chardonnay comment over lunch by a writer or something. Let's call them that.
Yeah, I saw this cool thing. It's a freaky.
from Torah.
Let's put that in. That's weird. Let's put that in a movie.
Now you have me thinking, is there some way that it's actually.
Meaningful.
Related to.
No, sometimes the cigars are
Yeah.
a banana,
Yeah.
a penis.
Is actually your mother's penis.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the other very important character, Quopeg. Quopeg?
Yeah.
Now, Quopeg is basically some sort of barbarian dude who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan the Barbarian.
He just looks like
not
an
known for a lot.
Not
right?
known. Yeah.
Well, as in an IMDb profile, no picture. Steve Davis is an actor known for Battle Beyond the Stars 1980, The Curse 1987, The Sword of the Sorcerer 1982. Really not much going on.
I just thought he was extra that walked into the wrong studio.
I think
And
sometimes.
there was a Hercules film being filmed next door.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, that's all right. We'll chuck him in there.
And you
We've
get
locked
the
the doors
sense,
already. Just stand there and just.
sometimes you get the sense that certain people are shoved into films because it's a favour for an uncle or it's a love interest for a producer or something like that because they serve no narrative purpose whatsoever.
No.
He chucks his spear once. I don't even can't remember if he hit something.
Although,
No, he killed 2 dudes.
yeah.
with one
one
spear.
spear.
He does
kebabs
two.
them.
He kebabs 2 dudes with one spear.
Although maybe he's Cayman's muscle.
He is probably Cayman's muscle because
That's right.
when Cayman says, we're not going to feed this woman to the monster beast, and then he says to Quopeg, go and release the monster beast. We don't need him anymore.
That's
Something
right.
like that.
That's right.
So my main thoughts on Quopeg is that we don't see him for most of the movie.
Is he a samurai? Is he a
no,
samurai
he's
on
not
your
one of the
list?
samurai. No,
He's
no,
part
no.
of Cayman's.
So
He's just his
Cayman's-
crew.
and neither are the
No, they're not samurai.
neither are the twins.
No.
Okay, cool.
Gary
But
Barry.
I do want to see the Quopeg spin-off movie.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. I
you're
want to
right.
know. It's I want to know what is he doing.
Prequel. We need to see the prequel.
yeah,
The leading up to that
How they-
moment.
Rogue One-esque is. I want to know what is he
Absolutely.
doing when he's
Why did he choose the spear?
Yeah, why
When
does
everyone
he
else
wear
has got laser guns.
the gimp suit? You
Is
know?
he the last
In a
of his
universe of
kind?
laser guns, you chose a stick, sharp stick.
Yeah, why did he choose a spear with this laser guns? There's a story there.
Yeah, there is. You're right.
All right, what happens next?
We are now getting on to Vaughn, yeah?
Yes, because that's when Whiny Boy
Yep.
goes to the planet looking for the Mos Eisley-esque
Yep.
place to find the mercenaries,
Yep.
and ends up stumbling. That's now
Does he
a ghost
meet
town.
Vaughn straight through? It's through a communication. Like, he doesn't actually meet him in person, does he? It's all through...
No, he gets.
This is Gelt we're
shot at.
talking about. We're talking about Gelt. Is that what
Guilt.
we're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is his ship, the sassy ship, knows information. And as they're flying through space, the sassy ship says, "Oh, that's planet blah blah." And there's apparently loads of, it's a wretched, hive of
villainy and
villainy.
scum.
Why don't we pop down there and see if anybody's hanging out?
Yeah.
And so they go down. And so...
So does he meet
hang
him
on.
in person, though?
Oh,
does.
sorry, we
does.
got too far because we didn't explain why Kamen joins the crew or what his character is. So we have to rewind.
And also,
quickly.
didn't the Valkyrie come and annoy him a little bit, then go away, and then he finds Vaughn, and then she comes back?
Hang on,
Oh,
we're,
you're right, actually.
hang on, we're back to Kamen.
Yeah, we are.
No, the whiny boy, whiny farm boy.
No, we got to go back to Kamen and explain his character and why he joins the crew.
And then the Valkyrie.
Because
And
he
then we
has
can
such
go-
hate for the bad guy. You're right.
That's right, of course.
Because mentioned the name,
that's right.
a la Superman, Batman, the name can really change the course of a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
One name, and so that's exactly what happened when the bad guy's name got mentioned.
Okay, so there you go. So he says, "Hey, we want to fight somebody. You want to help?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna get this."
I'd rather just
shit."
blend you up and
Yeah,
sell you.
Yeah, I was gonna sell you guys for protein. And then he says, "Oh well, looks like Sador." Sador. And the
Love
seduction is complete.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I give that one high seduction points. I thought that would work.
Absolutely.
And we find out later just towards the end of the film why that name brings that reaction.
That's right.
He
There's
killed
history.
He killed off all of his race.
He's
like
the last form of
last
his time.
of his form.
That's the one time they made a change to the language.
Yeah.
And it's a shit one.
So his character is he's the barbarian.
Yep.
Right, he's the foreigner with the weird customs. He always faux pas and says odd things, and he's also a freak show owner.
Yeah.
Right, he owns a bunch of freaks. Some weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like
So what's
All right.
What's his character? What have you got?
I just put his character as he's the barbarian.
yes.
In the sense he's uncultured and he's got weird customs and he's a foreigner, and that's why he keeps talking about mushing people up
Yeah,
into
yeah.
protein right in front of their face and all of this or whatever it is. Okay, so all right, so our next one I think is Guilt.
I think it's Valkyrie.
That's when we first meet her.
She annoys the farm boy first. Then he goes and sees Guilt.
Oh yeah. So it's Saint X-Min is her name.
She says
Okay.
that at the end.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Of the Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Of Valkyrie.
That's right.
All right. So Saint X-Men is her name. Now, first thing is that I think that's awesome. I don't know. It's the weirdest name I've ever heard in my life. Saint X-Men. Kind of sounds like X-Men for some reason. And why is she a saint? That's what I want to know. Why is
Yep.
she Saint X-Men? Dr. X-Men?
Well, she could
Professor
be.
X-Men? No, she's Saint X-Men.
And is it ST?
I don't know. I just spelt it SAINT.
Let's have a look. It might just be a name, or it might actually be Saint, as in Saint.
What's her name again? Yeah, no,
Saint-
it's ST. Now that could be as in Saint Germain, which is
All
not
right, so-
necessarily a saint
So it doesn't mean she has to be a saint. It's just that happened to be her name.
because it's specifically ST dot.
So she's part
X-Men.
of I guess her being the way she is part of a religious order of
Could be, yeah.
her people, I guess.
So this is the question: is she actually Saint X-Men, or does her name refer to somebody else who's saying X-Men and she's just got the same name as that person? You
Well,
see?
she's listed on IMDb as Saint X-Men.
See, so this
Saint
is
X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the
Argument
that
incidentally,
we have to
she got
solve.
most of the press.
Oh, she's on the. Go
All
check
over
the
place.
heroes.
Go and try and do a search for images. Like I try to come up with images to go in the background here. Go and do a search for this film on images, and 80% of them are her in some bikini somewhere at some signing show or something. She was a supermodel or a bikini model or
Actually,
something.
that's what I was going to ask. Who was she?
She was in a lot of sci-fi stuff. She was popping up in bloody Buck Rogers and all over the place.
And the bikini booby thing that she does in this is what she does. That's her thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's like a warrior. She's always some warrior princess or some warrior assassiness.
So, when we first meet her, now I've got the joins. She actually wants to join and fight.
She's heard on the grapevine that he's looking for people, and she's got the right
she's
stuff.
Like, I'm like, that's right up my alley.
Which
You know,
in the
that's
timeline
my
though,
thing.
he's only been out there for 2 hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's a pansy on top of that.
There's no progression of time at all. The whole thing happens in real time.
Yeah, so it probably does actually happen in real time, doesn't it? It's a
And yet
45-minute war.
and yet she's heard it on the grapevine and decides to blast him with a few dummy rounds.
Yeah, and then for some reason, Shad just chucks a shit for some reason.
He wants to blow her up.
Yeah, he's like, fuck off. He's like, why?
Role reversal with
Yeah.
with Ballsack 1, who says, no, hang man, just chill. Just chill.
Yeah.
Because he's been sassed by some chick.
Yeah.
And he's actually very passionately anti the Valkyrie, isn't he? Like the chick. He's very anti-instant.
Exactly.
No, you're not made of the right stuff, and I don't want you on board.
That's right.
I think she's made him feel less of a man.
That's what I think as well.
And the young boys
No.
reacting-
I don't agree.
Not threatened.
Because that pansy can't be less of a man. Is my argument.
You're right.
But no, it's something like that. I don't know.
I mean, that's why I was trying to,
Yeah.
because I found his reaction a little bit over the top, and I just kind of thought,
Absolutely.
am I missing something?
It was
here?
out of character.
Yeah, did she run over his dog?
Or it's
That's
not.
what that's what it felt like.
Well, it might be in or out of character, but it's not motivated.
That's right.
No,
It's not like
it's
there's
out
no
of
reason
proportion.
for what he's doing.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't really, because she's not really on the team. But then, kind of, how did she actually join the team? It's like your younger sister in the treehouse, and she just
have to go back to the Magnificent Seven.
okay,
There's a character in the Magnificent Seven, the young guy,
yeah, true,
and at first he says, "No, get on your way."
yeah.
Right? I don't care what skills you
And that's
got.
in Seven Samurai as well.
Get on your way.
Yeah.
And then he just follows.
He just
the
hangs
crew,
around.
Just hangs around back there.
Yes,
And then
well done.
and then later on they say, "All right."
Yeah.
Because he's sitting cooking fish, right in like they're about to cross a river and he's off to the side there cooking fish and he holds it up as if I've got plenty and he goes, "All right, come on."
Yeah.
And they let him in.
And that's in Akira's
And that's
one.
pretty much what happens here too. She sort of follows and they say, "All right, come on then."
And it's what's his name, Mifume, who's the in Akira's one, who's the actor that always hangs around with Akira Kurosawa.
I think that's the Indian, the First Nation, Comanchero in the new one, not Comanchero, Comanche,
In the new.
Magnificent Seven. I'm trying to think who.
Oh
that
yes, yes.
character
Ah, yeah,
No, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, interesting.
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
Comanche. I can't remember now.
Ah,
It
that's
could
cool.
be.
So she kind of doesn't join. She just kind of hangs around, and then later she turns up, and everybody starts talking to her, and it's like, all right, you're in the team. So what's her character? I've got her as glorious warrior maniac and insane sex maniac.
Yes, but not shoving sexism down your throat. She's not saying women are best, women are better. It's not anything to do with that at all. It's about I will have a glorious death, and I will be.
That's
I'm
a warrior thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But
Yes.
it's never about being female. I didn't get that.
Not in a warrior thing.
No, I didn't get any sense
Yeah,
of
it's
that
just
at
about
all.
being.
Yeah.
But we have
warrior.
to. But she does have the sex talk that she gives to
Yeah.
her little virgin friend
Well, she's
later on.
basically.
She brings the innuendo.
She's all
Yes.
about fighting and fucking,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes,
Yep.
that's why I say
And I'll teach you
insane.
the exact
sex
phrase
maniac
is
as
teach
well.
you the ropes.
yeah, which gets a little weird later.
It all gets weird there.
And we'll we'll have some details later on. All right. So what happens next? Gelt is Gelt next.
Gelt, yes.
So yes, they go to this planet, and it's like, that's a wretched hive scum villainy. How about we go down there? He goes down there, and he finds an old dusty place. This old dusty thing. It's like this dusty big, I don't know, space base in the world down there. Big complex, and he starts going around. He starts poking on them. This is Shad going around. And he's like poking on the machines, and he accidentally turns on the
dating.
The dating internet dating porn thing that they happen to have on the thing. And
he's swiping, right? He's swiping left, swipes right, and then the door rises up, and it's some kind of 300-year-old mummified thing,
sex robot
who's still alive.
Yeah. Yes, sex robot who's still alive. And that really brought back to me echoes of Logan's Run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because almost exactly the same thing happens in Logan's Run. Mm-hmm. And then he meets Gelt, or rather Gelt says, "Oi, you know, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Sitting surrounded by his millions, his money that is so great that he can't find a place to put it.
That's right. And so then he has and then I think what happens is, like, Shad says, "Oh, hey," and he's like, "What do you want?" And Shad's like, "Oh, you want to join my team?" And he's like, and I think he kind of refuses the call initially and says, "No."
What can you give me that I haven't already?
Yeah. He says, "Yeah, I already got enough money." And then Shad says, "Oh, all right, I'm out of here. See ya." And he's like, "Wait, I have to tell you my life story."
Yeah, that's right. Before you go.
Yes. And then he proceeds to tell.
So he's the universal mega mercenary. He's wealthy beyond any measure.
Yep.
Through mercenary activities.
Yeah.
So he's the penultimate. He's the guy you need on board.
He is the guy you need on board.
We've got a mission that is exactly ready for this particular guy that I just happened to find in this entire universe. Mm-hmm. It's a match made in heaven.
So, yes.
So how does he entice him?
So what's the seduction, right? So what's the his problem is that, his sex robots have gone moldy, and he can't leave the planet because everybody wants him. Yeah. And I think I love the sort of hyperbole that happens in these movies. It's like, every star system in the galaxy wants me. Every planet in the galaxy wants me. It's
I can't go anywhere.
Yeah. It's not like half
Where are you going? I can go there.
Yeah.
They'll never find me there.
Yeah. So
entices him with a feed.
Yes.
And a place to stay.
So he joins because he just wants some home cooking. He's just like, some nice soup, homemade soup. That'd be nice.
A nice warm blankie, a place in the corner.
Yeah. Nice
Some
blankie.
other people around that are actually alive.
Yeah. Somebody to talk to.
And there's a character like that in Magnificent Seven as well.
Yeah.
Where, like, I got it all. And I think it's his character. I swear he's the same guy. In Magnificent Seven, he's the guy in the vest with the little tiny...
He's the same guy. The highly paid assassin.
Gambler, sort of.
That's not quite right.
Yeah, he's like an assassin, but he loses his nerve and then he gets it back in the film.
That's right.
And Ethan Hawke's that character in the new Magnificent Seven.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
The post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, from the war and stuff.
I actually like the loses his nerve motif.
They should have used it.
Yes, they should have. Because when as I was saying before, when it kind of gets to this version of it, little bits fall out of the story, and it's those little important touches that are kind of missing. Yeah, imagine he'd lost it.
Yep.
And he wants to either prove himself again, or
then his motivation would have been a recapturing of his former
I can
glory.
be great again.
And the thing is, that was just there, and somehow they
He set it up.
Yeah.
It's like they snatched, Lost from the Jaws of Victory.
Yeah. He set it up, and then no one, there was no budumching.
All right, so his character, I've written down his character. Stone cold as ice, loner desperado, who seems to have a headache most of the time.
And his mouth looks like he's had a stroke. Just before the film.
Yeah.
He's got this droopy friggin' mouth thing, and you're right. He's rubbing
his temples most of the time. He's like, "Oh, I've got a fucking headache."
It's the Whitey Farm Boy's voice.
Maybe, he's like, I'll fight for you. I don't want to have cookie. Just have you got some Panadol or something?
There's a let me bring up this picture too. There's a picture of him around the planning table where they're all planning their defense, and the death stares that he's giving at this table. And it's where is he? Here he is.
Yeah.
That's the face.
Yes.
Like that's the face through the whole thing. He looks like his mouth looks like he's had a double stroke or something. And look at the death stare. And it's like you feel like this character's about to say, "Look, we didn't ask. You can go.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to be here."
It's like, your whining is giving me a headache, boy.
Yeah.
And it almost to me looks like that the actor is so pissed at this actor that you are making this film terrible, and therefore you are making me terrible, and I'm not going to get the next film because of your shit performance. And it's all in that look.
Yeah, and I could have been Steve McQueen in friggin' the real
I
Seven
could have
Samurai.
been somebody.
Yeah,
Could
you
have been a contender.
bastard.
Love it.
Actually, wasn't John Thomas, or what was his name? I can't remember his name now. Richard Thomas, the main actor.
The Molly McMulface.
John Boy. So he wasn't paid as much as the two support actors.
No, he's way down the list. Or Richard Thomas. Vaughan, Robert Vaughan, and George Papard took the lion's share of the actual overall film's budget.
Yeah.
So now do we have all of our samurais yet?
We have all of our samurai, so our list is now complete.
Okay.
There is one other character that we do need to meet, though. There's one missing that we haven't investigated yet.
Oh, the bad guy.
Yes, that's right. It's
Sador.
Sador.
Who actually, in the German version of the movie poster, of what I can actually surmise, the movie was actually called Sador in other languages.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that. I saw this picture.
Rodas.
Yeah, I didn't tweet.
Reading it backwards.
Sador.
Rodas, yeah.
Interesting.
Does it have meaning? What's the phonology? Is it phonology? What is it called again? What's
Meaningology.
You're into it, big word.
Entomology.
Entomology.
And
I wasn't
can
even
someone
close.
translate? Is that battle in space or?
This one here. Where's
Herrscher
Tom?
im
Where's Tom? when you need him?
Weltraum. In Weltraum. Herrscher in Weltraum. I don't know.
It could be.
Battle beyond
But this
space.
is definitely the bad guy's name. So yeah, in other languages, he gets the actual credit for the film's name.
So, first of all, his motivation. He wants the rice.
He wants the what?
He wants the rice.
The rice.
Yes. They've got the food. He needs it for his colony. he
Talk
said.
to me about his affliction. Is that explained in the film? I
affliction.
know that he's got bits that are dying on him, like his arms.
Yeah, that's explained in the film.
And
Is it?
well, I know
Yeah.
that the two guys that got left behind to guard the planet are joking around. Oh, did you hear about Phil? Look, last time someone did something shitty, it was Phil, and now he's wearing his foot.
That's right. Because he look.
Oh, he wants to live forever, is it?
That's right. And the way he does it is by being Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
Every time something goes wrong, he cuts that bit off and has another bit glued on.
Hence the phrase right at the end. I can't die.
Yes.
I'm supposed to live forever.
That's right.
Kaboom.
Slowly. And
Oh, spoiler. Yeah, he dies.
oh, yeah. Which is actually pretty close to that initial guy who was just a head on a bucket. So I don't know. Maybe there's lots of that going around in the universe.
Yeah.
Character. So I wrote for his character. He's a straight shooter. He's a man of high standards. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it. He's very capable. He's organised, calm, sometimes calm,
Yeah.
resourceful.
Were you reading out his LinkedIn profile there?
But he suffers from the, how do you fly like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkey?
Yes.
Yeah, he does. That's why I was saying, he's a man of high standards. It's like,
he-
you idiots, bloody don't.
Second-rate mutants, I
Yes,
think he refers to them
mutants.
as.
And how often has the nemesis come undone because he hires badly?
Yes, that's.
Come on.
Where
Surely
is
you
he
can bring in some
advertising?
good people.
Where is he
You've got the
advertising?
biggest ship,
Yes.
the biggest gun.
Various standards. And so, the final thing I think, a very practical, sadistic monster of Frankenstein on a quest for immortality. In a lot of ways, I thought he was one of the best characters, actually.
I thought so too, and especially for performance-wise as well.
Definitely for performance. Yeah.
In a film with some pretty ordinary performances,
Yeah.
he was a standout.
Yeah. All right.
So we've got all our key characters,
So that's the first half of the movie we've just done, where he's going around collecting all of these people.
which is the Magnificent Seven, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, that most of it is out on the road finding the mercenaries.
Yep.
So they have to fend off. They set up a early warning system, a Socius early warning network.
So they go back to the home planet, Kira, or whatever
the
it's called.
color bars and the.
Yes, that's the xylophone, thing that they've got there.
They set that up, and sure enough, the bad guy turns up as expected.
Wait. We have to go back one step because there's a little bit of, there's some important stuff that we've missed.
The pairing of characters and stuff like that.
Yes, the pairing, because they're down there and they're having a bit of a,
Yep.
there's a bit of a few human moments going on.
Well, first of all, Valkyrie clings on to the new Mrs. Whiny farm
That's
boy.
right. Now, we've got Sex Maniac meets Eternal Virgin,
Absolutely.
and there's going to be some dynamics going there.
Yep.
So, we need to explain this. Valkyrie, so Saint X-Men has probably the best line in the movie, which I think might be...
I know the line you're talking
which
about.
might be based off Shakespeare. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's in Hamlet. It comes out of Hamlet or something. But I wrote it down so that we could discuss and possibly check.
Yeah. Is it the you haven't seen blah 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 until you've seen a Valkyrie go down or something?
Yes, I've
Yes,
got that
but-
down.
I remember thinking, okay, so there's an innuendo now. There's been a whole film so far without any
No,
innuendo.
there's one before that about the talk bar.
Oh, that's right.
No. That comes after. And it's linked. So we have to build this connection very carefully because we don't want to get it wrong.
Yep.
Right. So the line is now. Remember, it's X-Men, our sex maniac, talking to Narelle or whatever her name is, the Eternal Virgin, and so. Out of the blue, she seems to say, and I've got this line here, and I can't...
Nanelia.
Nanelia, that's right. I mean, I complained about shad, but at least you can say it in one kind of...
Nanelia.
In one kind of
Isn't that
effort.
part of the female reproductive system?
Probably. Because you've got ball sack hanging under the fallopian tubes.
With a Nanelia somewhere in the middle. All right, so her line is... I could do wonders for that boy. I would recharge his capacitors, stimulate his solenoid, tingle, dingle, dangle, prangle his transistors. Sex.
I remember the Dingle Dangles transistor thing. It was crazy.
So, now the first thought that I had after hearing that is that I wasn't so convinced that she actually did know what sex was.
Yeah.
Stimulate his solenoid and his transistors. So that was my first concern, that she actually doesn't know what sex is either.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem.
I
Now,
thought she was protecting the virgin from not using the real word.
well, the script writers were protecting the audience members from not knowing the real words.
Yeah.
Yes, but like I said, very eloquent, rolls off the tongue. She, of course, says it in a high-pitched, squealy voice with a... So, yeah.
And now another pairing is the cowboy
Yep.
and the sciencey farm.
Sensible woman.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And they have a very
And he
mature...
impresses her with his belt.
Yes, that's right.
His holstered Scotch and ice and soda
yes, where he
mechanism.
can basically urinate bloody whiskey.
And the thing about that whole, like, it got silly. Like, it was silly, but it got real silly when he brought soda to the party. What, like, Scotch and ice on the belt? That's not stupid. That's all right. Especially when you're an alcoholic truck driver.
Yeah,
right?
gun runner.
It's awesome. But soda,
Yeah. Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
You're insulting me now.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, you
And there's a
would,
moment where he actually
doesn't make
swivel his hips to shake the ice.
Yes, I remember that didn't quite come out. The prop was a bit... clink, 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 clink.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so I just want to continue our sex education talk.
Yep.
To just build up to the final bit. So, obviously, St. X-Men had been talking, about the dingle dangle pringle prangle stuff and the transistors, and so then her and this is Nanelia and Shad are having a pash in Nell in the fallopian tubes
That's
just
right.
above the ball sack.
That's right.
Right. So they're having a bit
Otherwise
of a pash.
known as the bridge.
Oh, yes, I didn't know it's a bridge. Now, so they're in mid-pash, right? So they're actually, swapping spit and everything. And then she kind of pulls back for a second, and then she complains about, she remarks, let's say, about Shag's talk bar. She draws attention to the talk bar. Now, you got to remember, they're kissing.
Yeah.
Kiss, 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 kiss. And then she pulls back and she says, talk bar, your talk bar.
He's stabbing me or something.
Yes, your talk bar has slipped out of its groove, is actually what she says. Slipped out of its groove.
I love it.
All
You're
right.
right. You're right. It's all there. It's in the film.
Yes.
Yep, that's at a minute 20.
Now, I can't help think that this is echoes of St. X-Men's understanding of what sex is, with solenoids and transistors. And
Yeah,
things.
you might be right. So she's already gone off with the whiny farm girl S and educated.
Yeah, she's given her the full thing about the talk
It's all
bar and
about
stuff.
talk bars.
Now, unfortunately, Shad gets rather confused and then thinks he needs to go and fix something on the bridge
Rightly
afterwards.
So. Rightly
Yeah.
so. The innuendo goes like he doesn't understand the innuendo.
Well, I don't think there was any innuendo.
Well, no, you're right.
no.
You're
She
right.
was. I mean, she'd noticed that the talk bar
It
had slipped out of its damn groove.
and it was far more important.
I mean, when you're in the middle of a pash and you notice something on a control panel that slipped out of a groove,
you got to address it.
Yes, that's right.
I've trouble keeping my talk bar.
Absolutely.
Forever putting the damn thing back in the groove. Got
Okay.
a friggin' mind of its own.
Okay, so the bad guy comes back, right?
Yes, the bad guy
The
comes
early
back.
warning system says, whoop, whoop, bad
Yep.
guy coming in.
Right.
All right, everyone to the ships.
Well,
Except
not
for the
everybody
cowboy.
to the ships.
Except for the cowboy.
Yeah.
They use the special tuning forks of planetary bigness to create
Trenches.
a la Magnificent Seven.
Well done, because after watching it twice, I didn't make that connection. I only understood it when you just said it. Because I saw them playing the magic word, and then I saw the land going down, and I'm like, xylophone, land, rocks, whatever. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah,
well
so
done.
The trenches, so that the farmers could hide in the trenches with the guns of the cowboy.
Yes.
So he was land. He was the general on land, I guess. He was taking care of the farmers, and like in the Magnificent Seven, there was one of the mercenaries sort of trained the farmers and did a lot of the training and that sort of stuff with weapons and stuff like that.
So, Nanelia also hung out on the planet as well.
Yep. Initially, yeah.
And, of course, the Kelvins, Uman and Thuman, and...
Aren't they a punk band?
yeah, that should be a... That's where they went on to afterwards.
So they had the initial engagement with the bad guy.
And Kua Peg hangs
Right.
back as well.
So they go up. The ships all go out in a full frontal assault on the bad guy. Yeah.
No, not actually. Well, there's even more that stayed back. Oh, we forgot one dude, Nestor.
Who?
How could we forget Nestor?
Which one's Nestor? Is he on the poster?
Nestor's on the poster. Nestor's all over the poster. How can we forget Nestor?
Oh, Nestor.
We forgot Nestor.
The quads. The
Yes, we have to go back,
where
one back.
Yeah, they have
the
to-
single.
Oh, yes. We haven't picked up
That's right. The single entity
the
that
Borg
is-
mind.
Yeah, the hive
He's a
mind.
clone. He's a clone.
The
That's what
hive
it was.
mind. Are they clones?
They're clones,
Yeah.
is
Okay.
what they are. Yeah.
But they all
Again, Star Wars Clone War.
Yeah.
they for want of a better phrase, they all enjoyed the same sausage.
They did.
In the film.
Yes.
Which I thought was one of the campiest moments. It was so TV,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
80s TV in its nature.
Yeah.
When
Make
we
it
come
sound
from,
like another innuendo.
well,
No.
we come from
Another?
like prior to this film, we had seen Close Encounters, we had seen Star Wars, we had seen Kubrick's masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
And then you see that scene,
Yeah, have a guy eating a sausage.
and it's so Corman, isn't it? It's like, fuck it, no, we this is the sorts of movies we make. Put it in the groove.
So Nestor's some alien dude, and there's like multiples of him, and there's copies, and they're all kind of got one mind, and they're all the same guy, but they're all different, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Just to backfill quickly, his reason for joining, because reasons, mostly boredom.
Yeah.
No, they seek adventure. They
seek
actually say
adventure, yeah,
because
that's
they're
right.
bored
Yep.
and they seek adventure.
Yep.
All right, so he's off for a bit of excitement. The Xbox is broken or something or other.
Yep.
And character, I got him down as an emotionless weirdo nerd who needs to get out more.
Yeah. And isn't afraid of sacrificing one of the boys to get a look at the ship.
Yeah,
To
that's
basically
right.
get an inside look at the ship.
Right, so that kind of actually now ties into where our guys go off to attack. So we've got a bunch of guys on the planet,
Yep.
including the cowboy.
Yep. And a barbarian.
And I think Nestor is... Well, maybe Nestor. I don't know what happens. Nestor's sort of on the planet.
It might be.
Yeah, I think he is on the planet. Yes, he
Yes,
is
he
on the
is.
planet.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of them are up in space.
Yeah.
Right?
Later on.
And they engage the bad guy.
All right. So another thing that I've written down here is how each character... What was each character's fate? Okay.
Outcome.
Yeah, their
Oh,
fate,
yeah,
their
okay.
outcome. Okay?
Yeah.
All of the 7 heroes and everybody. So...
Which is never real good if you go from where the story comes from.
That's right. Yes.
Not a lot of them live.
That's why I used the word fate. Okay, so it's not going to end well. So where do we want to start? Where does the story start? Who's first up?
To die.
Well, first up to do anything. I think it's a ground attack is what happens.
No, I think there's definitely
Yeah, there's an air attack.
there's a full frontal sort of. All the different ships are all sort of. There's the Ballsack 1. There's the glowing ship.
Yeah, Ballsack 1 is hiding behind an asteroid. Valkyrie leads 2 drones.
That's right. I think it's the Valkyrie maybe goes first. She goes first.
Yeah, and
She's-
she makes some drones trailer and then and lead them straight into
That's right,
Ballsack
yeah.
that's hiding behind an asteroid or something.
Yeah.
But to sum it up, they have a first, just like Magnificent Seven. There's a first conflict, and then they go away and lick their wounds.
That's true. Yeah, something like that happens.
My problem with this film
Yeah.
is that the bad guy doesn't have any wounds to lick.
Yeah.
Right? What is he doing the whole time? The good guys go and lick their wounds.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
The
Yeah.
conversation's like, come on, guys, come on, we've got to go again. We've got to go again. I've got to sit here all day.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, why is the bad guy not just crushed them?
He's recharging his batteries or something or
And
other.
they come down and they're chewing sausages and doing
Yeah,
all
that's
sorts-
right. They're having barbecue. All right. Well, speaking of barbecue, let's talk about Gelt because he's one of the first ones in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe send X-Men flying around, pew pew pew. But then Gelt goes in,
Yeah.
and he's clearly pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so he shoots up a load of the enemy fighters, and then takes on the big ship,
Yep.
which I don't think has a name, unfortunately, because it's pretty damn cool.
I can't remember that.
He even flies through its sunroof. You know how it's got like this sunroof in the middle where there's this big empty bit in the middle and it flies right through.
Just like the
recall
Star
that.
Destroyer has the hatch that swallows up Princess Leia's ship.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But his has no ceiling, so they actually fly.
So it's like a
through it.
donut in the middle of the ship.
Wow,
You can
I
fly
And actually,
through.
that shape of his ship is actually like Princess Leia's.
Yes,
The Carillion Corvette. Yeah.
Tantive 5.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch of, and the back of it's like a Star Destroyer.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
So there's
exactly.
a whole bunch of weird Star Trek.
Now, there's a reason
homage.
for that. There's a reason why you get a... It also has a similarity in a lot of the shots to the ship from Aliens, right at the very start.
Oh, the Lenesto or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because the same person designed both of them.
Yes, we'll get to some technical stuff, I think, towards the end there.
Yeah.
All right, so he goes through, and then for some reason he decides to attack the big ship and fly through the donut in the middle, and the big ship shoots the crap out of his little ship.
That's right.
And then he loses power and he crashes into the planet.
Yes, that's right. And survives.
And survives.
In pieces, but survives.
So, yes, while they're all down there having their barbecue, the poor old barbecued Gelt,
Yeah.
who still hasn't got his bloody home-cooked meal yet.
That's right.
Gets laid out.
And so Farm Boy, when he does finally breathe his last breath, the Farm Boy says, "Cook him a meal,
That's right.
dig a hole, stick him in it, stick the food in it." Did he say stick the food in it? That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
Very,
Yeah. So that was him sort of riffing a little bit on the two things that he wanted out of the deal, stick them in the one hole. I got a feeling if Gelt could come back from the dead, he said, "Don't put the food in the hole. What are you putting the food in the hole for?" Fucking idiot. But yes, he saw his demise in the first sortie, which happens in the original story as well. You know, you lose a couple of heroes in that first sortie.
So I wrote down for his fate: takes out some drones, loses power, crashes into planet, has face burnt off, cries like a baby and dies.
Gets buried with a hamburger,
Gets buried with some lentils.
which is all he ever wanted.
Yes, swapped his rubies for lentils.
Cool. So he's the hero, though. He's like the guy.
I thought he was the
is-
coolest hero. He's clearly the most capable.
He
I
was
thought.
the most qualified to do
Yes.
the job, and he's the first one to die.
That's yeah. So, all right. Then I don't know. The order's probably a little bit mixed up, but
Yeah.
then the soldiers, the bad guy soldiers, land on the planet.
That's right.
Right,
Yep. With their sonic tank
with their sonic tank. That's right.
that makes you bleed from the earballs.
That's right. Bleed from your fallopian earballs. So it's our space cowboy who's in charge of defense.
That's right. He's the ground general.
He seems to get a lot of people killed.
Yes. So that's where I wrote down his fate. Trains a bunch of brave Ewoks to be killers and leads all of them to their deaths.
Tick.
Moral to the story: don't trust any man.
Who dispenses scotch from his belt.
Yeah. Don't trust a drunken redneck. He thinks he's a cowboy. I mean,
Well,
imagine if you were walking around and you thought you were like a knight,
Yeah.
right? Because in his time, there's no cowboys.
Yeah.
Imagine you were walking around town and you called yourself Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
And you had like a alcohol dispenser in your groin, and you wore
Ale
like
dispenser.
and you wore like armor and stuff. You're like, this guy's a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
All right, so that happens. Yeah, so one of the defenses that I thought was really is all the bad guys led, and then he like walks out. He's like does the cowboy thing, walks out. And they could have played that up a little bit more, but anyway, he walks out and then he says, "Oh, attack everybody!" And so yes, he sort of ushers everybody to stand in front of the bad guys without any cover and engage in a furious laser duel at point blank range. It's like maybe he wasn't the best guy to. I mean, he's a gun runner.
He looked qualified.
He looked qualified.
But,
He
yeah,
looked-
You know
wasn't.
those scenes in the caves and hallways there where you've got
yeah.
If you watch it back, you'll see that when you sample a sound and you got a keyboard and you go
Oh, yeah.
and you go and you can flick really. But one thing that never happens is one sound will play over the top of another.
Yeah.
You listen to it,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that usually separates the cheap, shitty sci-fi from the '80s to the Star Wars, right? Where yes, two people can shoot at the same time, and you can hear the sounds going over like this, right? Because they're layered.
Yeah.
It's not like the layer. One channel of the mixing
Monophonic
decks,
versus polyphonic.
yeah, one channel was laser guns. One channel was something else, and so they could only go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Or it doesn't complete the waveform when you press it a second time. It just cuts it off and starts a new one.
but it never overlaps. The new blast cuts out. That's what happens. The
Yeah,
new blast cuts
yeah.
out the last blast.
Yeah.
And it's so if you close your eyes, you go, "That's an '80s movie."
We still got to do our study on laser beam sounds from history.
Yep.
All right. So the bad guys are not, they're not messing around. So they bring in the sonic tank.
Sonic tank.
And so, Cowboy doesn't have any bloody clue about how to stop a sonic tank. I mean, how would you stop a sonic tank?
Well, you stop it by sending in the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twins oven activate, and they proceed to heat up the tank.
Yeah.
They cook the tank
At the
and
cost of
they
their
make
own lives.
Yes.
Such a brave sacrifice.
Gary and Barry will be remembered.
Gary and Barry.
Although we never see them dead, do we?
No, they take them away to warm them up again. But
reheat them.
Yeah, but it's unclear.
Like a
Well, they got
briquette.
the barbecue right there.
It's a briquette.
It's unclear whether they can be microwaved back to life.
Stick them in the Weber, heat them up.
That's for the spin-off.
That's another spin-off.
That's what maybe Kua Peg's doing, because we see him like chuck his spear and he like does the shish kebab on two guys.
yeah.
Then maybe he's gone over to heat up,
Yeah,
Gary and Barry again.
yeah. in the only pair of underwear that are connected to your boots. It's got these strappy bits leading from his loincloth underwear.
You
to
can
his
actually
boots.
see him turning up as a Hercules extra, turns up the wrong studio, and they think,
Yeah.
we need to sci-fi it. So they grab his sandal laces and attach them to his underpants, and they're like, now you're
Now
science.
we're talking.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's science fiction.
Get in the studio before the guys at Flash Gordon see you.
All right then. So we'll continue the story of Space Cowboy. Now, after he's been like shown up by the Wonder Midgets, I don't know what happened. Something snaps in his brain, and he like thinks he's
Something
worthless.
happens up in space, right? There's somebody cops it up in space. It's either the Valkyrie chick or somebody, because he's standing with the scientist woman,
the sensible woman. Yeah.
and he says, "Hold my beer."
Yes.
And he's like, "I'm
Yes.
going to take."
I think
I
the
can take
Valkyrie
this guy
has.
out.
I think the Valkyrie has.
Yeah. Something inspires him to
on
save the
out.
day.
Well, you see, what my inspiration is, I think he got shown up by the Wonder Twins, and he's like,
You ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, yeah, by the way, have a look at my thing. Because he pours another one.
That's right.
He pours another one before he takes off to save the day.
So then he gets in his spaceship, and he goes off. And what I've written here, so his fate is trains a bunch of brave Ewoks to be killers, and then leads them all to their deaths. Then gets drunk and dies in a useless attack on Sador's ship that does nothing.
Yep.
That doesn't he achieve anything?
No, he shoots down some of the drones. But
They're about to launch something.
But Sador's got plenty of those. He
Because
doesn't care, man.
Kamen at that time is doing his suicide run into the weapon.
That's right.
No, not Kamen. It's an X-Men.
Oh, that's right.
It's an X-Men.
Is it? Is it her that takes out the weapon?
Hell yeah, beautiful ending, man.
That's right.
We can have a beautiful ending.
That's right.
So let's go straight to her then.
And tell me, her ship just did look like the most uncomfortable
Yes,
thing.
I don't
Like
think it was
she's on some sort of
OH&S
banana
approved.
land.
No.
And I remember thinking every time they shot to it, I thought, I can't work out how that thing's designed. I don't understand the space. There's something about the space I just can't understand.
The seat is arranged so that her boobs are higher than her head.
And then when they're all squished together with her arms.
Well, it's the only way they could show her boobs, her crotch, and her thighs.
All in the same shot.
You're right.
It's actually, that's a genius cinematography there, actually, in action.
That's Corman 101.
All right, so yeah, I had to watch it multiple times because it's very weird what she does. She kills a few drones, right? And then, because it's the Death Star Battle of Yavin moment, and they're just about to blow up the planet, right? They've opened the thing, and they've got the stellar converter,
Which they needed to happen. That was part of the plan for the good guys. Was we can't show our hand until he opens the thing. When he opens the thing, they have to lower the shields, just
That's
like us.
right.
They have to lower the shields in order to fire.
That's science. Come on,
Because science.
yes. I don't quite know why he wanted to blow up the planet, because he wanted the rice that was on the planet.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Oh no! That was just a pure anger because his arm fucked
normally
out.
calm.
His arm tried to kill him with a knife.
No, normally a calm guy, but people get pushed.
He lost his shit.
People get pushed.
So fuck this planet.
All right, so destroys Stellar Converter by squealing like a pig and smashing her ship into it.
That's right. She had a Xena moment, didn't she?
Yes.
Xena Warrior Princess.
I thought she
Yes.
doesn't.
No,
she
it was
self-destruct the ship and it turns into a big.
No,
supernova?
she just crashes into it. But what she does do is, and I had to watch this multiple times because it was very weird in the shots and stuff, is she ejects out of her ship before it crashes
that's
into
right, that's right.
the Stellar Converter.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're right.
And then she's just like sitting in space in a like safety capsule, and then all the bad
right.
guys just kill her.
Yeah.
I thought she detonated herself.
She did.
Did she?
She detonated herself and took them out.
Well, that sounds better.
They were all sort of surrounding her.
And that's why. And that's
I'm
when-
believing that.
And that's when the guy says she went out beautifully. Like
That's right. Had a beautiful ending.
Did you notice that they used nuclear weapons?
They
in this
did.
film?
Yeah.
Nuclear missiles.
They were the glowy red ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The ones that were impossible to stop, except later on in the movie they
When
forgot.
we stopped them.
we forgot about that.
And then they can't stop them again.
That's right. That's right. And the old, let it follow us and we'll go back towards the ship thing.
And then it hits Sador's ship, and he's like, "What?"
And
Yeah,
it didn't
whatever.
even leave a mark.
I know. He's like, yeah, whatever.
It took out one of the engines
It
up
went.
the back.
Well, no, it didn't. I thought it was going to take it out the engine, but
I
it
don't
didn't even
think it
flicker.
did. I don't
it
think
didn't
it
even
did.
flicker.
I
think
thought one of them goes black.
I was expecting that to happen, and it didn't, because I was really, really disappointed that
So basically
a
just-
nuclear weapon just did not leave. a
It just
scratch.
scratched some paint, basically.
Yeah, did nothing.
That's a hell of a ship.
All right. So the next one up is Nestor.
Yes,
Now, something freaky happens here because remember, our Nestor's made up of 5 dudes or
Yeah.
4 dudes.
well,
or
I
something
thought
or
it was hundreds of dudes, and we
Yeah,
just got
yeah,
to
but
see
we've
those
only
4.
we've only got 5 of them here.
Yep.
And somehow one of them ends up on Sador's ship.
Yeah, I never
He
saw
was
it.
the sacrificial lamb. They sent him. They
But
either-
how did he get there?
I don't know how. I can't remember how he got there, but can you remember seeing the glowy ship after the guy? The he.
Yeah. They do an attack right at the
So
end.
they must.
But
have,
they are down on the planet when they're doing all of that shenanigans, and then they take off and go up and attack.
yeah.
So I don't know quite how he got
Not
there.
sure how yeah, I'm not sure how that happened.
I think the
and it was like
scriptwriters-
they were off script anyway, because no one else knew that they were doing it. It was like, oh, by the way, one of our guys is up here, so
yeah.
let's tune in. And then they just happened to tune in and see it happening, don't they?
Yeah,
the
something
arm.
like that. They're all down there around the sort of planning conference room.
Because they see what he sees.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
So, Sador's doing his Frankenstein thing where he's
Yes.
cutting bits off his body and getting new ones. So he decides to cut one off, Nestor's arms and have it sewn onto him.
Yep.
Now, then that allows Nestor to try and grab Sador's knife and slit his throat like a pig.
That's right.
Via a very graceful interpretive dance.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
absolutely.
Because had he done it quicker,
Yeah.
he might have achieved something.
Well, why they didn't just do that? Instead of this, so symbolic. It's like no. And I love the cut it off.
Yeah, that's right. He has to cut
And
his
then
arm
he does the
back
rest,
off
the rest
again.
of the film with one arm.
That's right. Yeah, a bit of a setback. But like I said, he's an organised dude. He's an organised
But that's
dude.
why he gets
would have
cranky.
recovered.
Probably. He was cranky for the rest of the film. And I
Probably.
think it was the arm that really put him over the edge.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean that's fair enough. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, was that part of their plan to begin with?
No.
So they
Maybe.
didn't plan to go up there and have his arm cut off so he could stab him with his own arm when it's
No,
a
I don't think
Frankenstein
they
armor.
knew about the Frankenstein
And that was one of the things
thing.
I thought, why didn't they mention that in the first place? And before anyone gets killed, let's just try that and see if that works. Then if
Is it
that
an
doesn't
example-
work,
Yeah, that's it. Is it an example of a writer coming up with an idea and then working backwards from it to make it fit in?
Of course.
or maybe the way he...
That's what it looked like.
No.
Or was it done in the editing room?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Maybe it was the first attack. Oh, no, it wasn't, because at that stage,
Yeah.
things were
But I
already set.
still don't know. There's 3 of us that don't know how that guy got on that ship.
No idea.
The Nestor guy.
And I was paying attention. Or at least I thought I was.
Yeah, I was. I definitely was. Sort of.
All right, so after that doesn't work, Nestor then loses his bottle for some reason and then flies off and then gets blown up.
That's right.
So, gets blown up in a useless attack that does nothing. So thanks, Nestor. That's him done. So we're rapidly running out of samurais left.
Because Cowboy's gone, Valkyrie's gone, Nestor's gone.
Gelt's gone.
Gelt's gone.
We've got Cayman left.
Cayman.
We haven't done Cayman yet.
Cayman's got a big moment in the film because he's the guy that delivers the monologue to the enemy. It's like, I will strike you down, blah, 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 blah. And, oh, you, I thought I wiped all of you guys out.
and I'll finish
Let's
off what I started.
Crash together. sort of
Yes.
thing. Yeah. Cool.
So I've got Fate here. Cayman, Fate. makes a lot of noise, and dies in a useless attack on Sato's ship that does nothing.
Yep.
See a bit of a pattern emerging here.
Yeah.
You know, most of these guys, they have kind of one or maybe half a trick up their sleeve, and then they just like, crash.
Now, was he alone on the ship? We really didn't see whether the Barbarian was with him.
No. He was down shish kebabbing bad guys.
That's right. He was shish kebabbing bad guys, and the Wonder Twins were
Being
warming
reheated.
back up. That's
Yeah,
right.
being reheated. This is why I want to see the spin-off movie, because I think we've got plenty of material.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, who's left? Space Cowboy, it's just our heroes, Shad and Nanelia,
Yep.
and they're both now on
Ballsack 1.
Ballsack 1, and it's down to them. So, what happens?
But the big gun's been taken out.
The big gun?
By now, the big gun has
Oh,
been
the
taken
Stellar
out.
Converter. Yeah,
Stellar Converter
that's
that
gone.
can destroy a planet.
Yes, right. So that's gone.
Did it destroy the planet, or did it turn the planet into a sun? Because the only time I ever saw it work, the planet just started glowing white and then stayed that way.
Okay.
No, and then
I
it
saw
went
it
to
blow
little
up.
specks, I think.
Did it?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
that's right. The little sparkly.
Yeah, fireflies.
Yeah.
things.
Pretty sure it blew up.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so they make another one of those famed useless attacks on Sador's ships.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, let's fly at it and shoot our useless laser beams versus its 100 awesome laser beams.
And this bit, where's the camera? Really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because had they done this in the beginning, they could have saved all those lives.
Yes. Absolutely.
They basically allow themselves to be beamed up,
Yep.
captured,
Yep. Set the self-destruct.
destruct, and leave. Why not do that from the beginning?
Yep. In fact, you could have sent one of the white glowy dudes.
Yeah.
Who isn't a big loss. We got a lot of those guys, and
They're
they're
clones.
the same guy.
Just make another one.
So it's not like the guy dies.
Right.
We could have sent him up in Ballsack 2,
Yeah.
right, with a self-destruct, end of story.
Yeah.
Right, and still come in on the right time for the movie.
So all of those guys beforehand, just like their useless attacks were twice as useless.
Yeah. Like Magnificent Seven, all you need is a sharpshooter to shoot the bad guy.
Yeah.
All the other minions of the bad guy will run into the forest and movie over. The farmers are safe.
So my summary of the fate. Now remember that Nell gets damaged. All right, Nell
That's
gets
right.
damaged.
She loses a memory,
Yeah. So
starts counting. 20,
that's right.
15,
Yeah.
72.
Yeah, and gets her numbers confused.
Which, in the moment, you're thinking, holy shit, that's a countdown to self-destruct. And she doesn't know any of those numbers. It's like
Yeah.
any moment this thing could blow up.
Yeah, I think they could have squeezed that for a little bit more fun out of that.
Yeah, that's so too.
So her fate was damaged in a useless attack, has a computer stroke, and dies as a suicide bomber.
That's pretty good.
Perfect. Tick.
And you realise we've now gone probably just longer than the actual film.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe we should play this back to back with the film in the background and just see if we're hitting the same beats.
Love it. We could re-edit anyway to get the right beats.
Yeah.
So all samurais dead except for Whiny Farm Boy and Mrs. Whiny Farm Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what happens next
But
is...
bad guy's dead as well.
Yeah, Sador's dead. He gets blown up and he's like, no! Okay, he's dead.
That's right.
What happens next is interesting and important because the ship blows up, we cut back to the hit, and the movie ends.
Yes. The credits. This is when I teach narrative, right? I tell students that it's not enough to have to give a story an ending. You have to see what is the outcome as a result of the ending. It's not enough because an audience will always feel robbed if you just give them the ending. Yeah, they have to know that do they live happily ever after? Do they go their separate ways? Whatever it is. You kill the bad guy, right? Voldemort gets killed. But then we have to have that scene on the platform with the kids going off to, yeah?
Yeah.
So the conclusion to the ending.
Yes.
One's a conclusion, one's an ending, right? And I know it sounds weird, but that's what's missing in this film because it sort of just goes, bad guy dead,
Yeah.
we're floating in the pod.
Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Yeah,
Run out of money down to the dollar.
I was wondering what happened there.
And it's like, no, sorry, we ran out of money about 3.5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
End it here.
Oh, actually, is there a speech by John Boy where he says they will always live forever.
I
While their
imagine there's-
memory, there is that speech
Is
where
there
he's,
in the pod?
in whatever it is, they're in skate pod. Yeah, no, they do cut to the heroes, and there's something, but
and he says that she says all those lives lost, and he says all the whatevers believe that people live on until all the people they have touched.
yeah,
And
something
affected.
stupid like that.
And then he says because they saved the planet, they will basically live forever as long as
Yeah.
we're
I
here.
was still. I you're right, but I
But that's
still
still
got.
too
I
short.
still got left with this empty feeling that
They still
that
needed
didn't feel
something
right to me.
after
Yeah,
that.
it didn't feel right to me.
Think of Return of the King. There's another 3 hours of ending before it actually ends.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
they never met a conclusion they didn't like. In Return of the
yeah,
King.
that's right.
But I guess that's trying to find conclusions for 3 films with parallel stories and everything.
And
I
they-
get it, sort of. But I didn't like it, but I
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
This thing was so 80s in its nature,
Yeah.
where it's like, bad guy's dead, man.
Yeah.
Roll a credit.
And they needed to have shown what he just talked about.
Yeah.
The
Because I
planet.
guess in those days they weren't thinking sequel, they weren't thinking any continuation. It was like, set out, kill the bad guy, walk away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Job done.
George Lucas likes to end his films with a family shot.
That's what I was thinking.
How does Empire Strikes Back end? It ends with
It's a very open-ended ending, but at least it's a continuation ending where Lando takes off with Chewie, and Luke's just had his new hand sewn on, and we see this. We know at the end of that this story's going somewhere. Yeah.
yeah.
We didn't get that with this. It was like zip, and it's like, why fuck around? Like, we just killed the bad guy.
Because Star Wars has the medals.
Yeah.
The medals ceremony.
So the alternative. This is the alternative. John Boy is received as a hero by the villagers.
It has to be.
That's all. That's all it needed.
He just has to
He
walk
just
back
needs
into
to
town.
land a ship, right? You great like Last Starfighter, whatever. You have that shot where he lands the ship and the crowd are cheering. You've saved the universe. Blah blah blah.
A couple of kids run up to him and he gives one an old scruffy pat on the head, and
Yeah.
and we're out of there. And
But we need a conclusion from the ending. We need to know what did the ending do to the characters. Otherwise, the characters haven't come full circle, and it's really important in a narrative, I think.
no, I agree.
Okay, so technically, we've been busting at the seams to talk about it. This is James Cameron's work.
Exactly.
When he was working as a lowly paid visual effects or special effects person, making models, that's why there's so much similarity when you see that crawling big ship shot with the aliens ship turning up in the outer orbit. He was the guy in charge of the special effects for this film. In fact, he met his future wife on this film, Gail Ann Hurd,
Ah.
who later became his producer for Terminator, Aliens, and The Abyss.
Wow.
And they divorced during The Abyss. And when you see there's a behind the scenes movie put together for how they made The Abyss, and it's almost better than the film, because the whole thing was shot underwater and it was crazy. The budget, the whole thing was shot in an old nuclear cooling tank or something like that. But that partnership set Cameron up for his life. Like, he was truck driver, saw Star Wars, decided he wanted to get into it, became a model builder, things like that. But he showed so much aptitude for learning how lighting works, how pyrotechnics work, how all of this nuances. So when you're on a James Cameron film set now, you can't pull the wool over his eyes. He knows all the shit. Yeah, this is where it all started, man.
And that is probably the ships are probably one of the higher production values.
Well, he's credited as art director on this.
Yes, that's what I
Oh,
wanted to say.
really?
Art direction and visual effects.
Yeah.
Because the interiors,
Yeah, yep. He's cutting his teeth. You can see nuances of his future in this film. The angles, lots of force perspective with rear projection.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when bad guy ship turns up right at the very start with the farmers, that's rear projection with a big massive screen, and they project onto the back of it, and then they go, "Ooh," yeah. They use that same technology for Aliens. When the shuttle crashes and all this sort of stuff, it's all force perspective, and Terminator as well.
just to your point that some of the ships were some of the most expensive bits in it, can you fire up YouTube for a second?
Yeah.
Because we have to go and just check out another trailer. The trailer is called Space Raiders.
Oh, I remember this coming out.
Because they used actual shots from this thing. Like,
No, let's correct that statement slightly. Because it's Roger Corman.
and he owns the property.
Space Raiders, the trailer. So turn the
That's the same shot.
Yeah. Turn the volume down. That's Sada's ship.
Yep,
that's
Sada's ship.
Gelt's ship.
Yep.
There's some other things.
Sada's ship.
Gelt's,
Yep.
Gelt's ship.
There were the. Yep. It's all there.
And on it goes again.
Yep.
And
Oh,
this
that's-
is
Yeah.
And that's in the film. That's in
just
Space
using-
Raiders. They quite literally just use shot for shot entire sequences and shots from the film.
and this is Roger Corman. This is him. This is how he produces 576 movies in 2 years or 3 years or whatever. No, it's like 15 years or something or other.
Yeah.
But this is kind of how he does it.
Yep.
There they are.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
it's
Ballsack.
Ballsack 1.
Ballsack 1.
Exactly.
Back from the dead. And the bad guy ship.
It's all there.
Yeah.
And not only that,
Gold.
if we go to Wikipedia, well, if you go to the Wikipedia article on Beyond Battle Beyond the Stars, there's actually another 4 movies that he uses all of those shots in as well.
Yeah.
You know, so
Now, coincidentally, James Cameron is affiliated with those films as well. With some of those films.
oh, is he?
Oh, yeah.
The subsequent Roger Corman productions.
Yeah. Well, no, a couple of those that you're mentioning. there.
Ah, right. Okay, so in the thing here it says, can I see it quickly? Reused material. Space Raiders, StarQuest 2, Dead Space, and possibly some other ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the. If you check the trivia for Battle Beyond the Stars, you'll definitely see that there's a whole bunch of stuff that got reused. That's as you mentioned, it's the Corman way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie cost $2 million. Corman's biggest budget to that date, and most of that went to 2 actors. It grossed in the US $11 million. That's
you go.
pretty good for the time. But it also made a cool $7.5 million in rentals, video rentals. I don't know how they quantify that, but that means you've got to go into every Video Easy and find out how much did you make on that one. I reckon that's probably a guess.
Wouldn't it be video chains? How many?
Royalty
No, like they
Or the
buy it.
distributors.
Like they would have bought.
could be. Could
That
be
many
they bought
tapes.
that. Yeah. No, you might be right. They might, that figure might be based on the
How many
the quantity.
they copied?
It was huge in Sweden. It made $2 million out of its $11 million gross. $2 million of it was in Sweden.
It gets cold in Sweden. There's
Maybe
not a
it's
lot
her.
to do in the. Maybe the Valkyrie.
Maybe it's
yeah,
'cause
No,
they-
she might be a Swedish. She might
what's
be
her
a
name?
Swedish actress.
well, I don't know.
Her acting name is Sybil Danning. Dann.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
What
sure Danning is a European sort of.
Maybe.
Or maybe the the whiny lady. She had an interesting surname. I
Yeah.
think I saw there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, his is almost unpronounceable.
Nanelia. She's Darlene Flugel.
Ah, that sounds Swedish to me. Yeah.
And also, they are reusing some of ABBA's costumes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Or vice versa. Abby used some of their costumes. One of the two.
No, I think it's the other way around. Probably, to be honest.
So, final question. We'll sign off with: would you rent, buy, or set fire to this film as a rating system?
We got yeah.
I would not set fire to this film.
No, I would not set fire to this film.
For the innuendo scene with the
Slipping talk bar.
slicky talk bar, that's enough, right? To not set fire to it. That it belongs in cinema history.
There's more categories in the list.
I wouldn't buy it. No, we can't add more categories. We've
I
got
think
rent,
you should
buy.
have between set fire
It's
and
a
rent,
renter.
pirate.
No, you can put pirate in the list. I think there's got to be a few more
Yeah.
gradations in the list. My
right.
one is, would you go over to a mate's place and watch it?
No, because you can't make a decision to go having not seen it, right? You know what I mean? Like you would have to say, rip, rent, buy, burn.
No, you see your mate has bought it, and you're happy for your mate to buy it and go and watch his version.
But you can't know to watch it without having seen it.
Yeah, but that's how we make our opinions
I got
after
you. I
we've
know what
seen
you
it.
mean.
Yeah,
It's a recommended. You would go to your mates.
and watch it.
You wouldn't rent it.
I wouldn't.
If he's got it, you'd watch it.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty convoluted with our rating system.
Yeah.
Okay, so rent, buy, go to your mates and watch
Or
it.
bludge. We call it bludge.
Rent,
Yeah,
buy,
bludge.
rent, buy, bludge, set fire to. I would suggest that you could. I would rent this film for $1,
I'd probably
but I'd pay the $1.
I'd either bludge it or rip it just so I had it in my collection and I
Yeah.
can say,
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'd be happy to pay $1 to have a downloadable copy of it.
I'd bludge it.
Yeah. So none of us are buying it.
I'd be very happy to bludge it, though. Put it that way.
So the two extremes are buy and burn, right? And we're not going near those. So we're in the middle there. It's good enough to watch. I think it's a celebration of 80s sci-fi.
it's got Richard Thomas in it.
It's so specific to that decade
Yeah.
of sci-fi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up there with Kroll.
Yeah. These are
Hawk-
serious actors. These
Hawk
are
the
people that
Slayer.
command big paychecks.
Yeah, the serious B-grade actors, though.
Well, some
Even
of them.
George Papard is probably the most serious.
Vaughan was pretty big. He was in Magnificent Seven. Papard missed out on a role in Magnificent
Saxon
Seven.
turns up
by
in
the way.
every bloody thing,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yes. The bad guy.
The bad guy
Yeah,
is character actor.
He plays a pretty good bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's Buck Rogers' 80s television bad guy.
I think he extended into the 90s. He's probably in Schwarzenegger movies.
Yeah.
And
And a lot of Steven Seagal films, maybe.
he's in, what's the Schwarzenegger one with Mars?
Total Recall.
No, he's not
Thank
in
you.
that. You're thinking of Michael Ironside,
Oh, is he?
who is also another one of these.
Oh, well, he's the
stalemate-
same dude,
Yeah.
So
almost,
he is
right?
exactly the same guy. But Ironside is in that one as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, once again, fantastic experience to review some retro achievements in sci-fi and cinema.
I don't think I've laughed as much.
It's been a good.
on this show.
It's been a good choice of film. I remember when I was watching it, I'm thinking whoever chose this film, right, needs to do push-ups, needs to do some kind of penance, right? But now that we've done the show, I'm glad that that's what the film was, because there's so much to talk about and have fun with, and so my suggestion to if anyone that hasn't seen it, watch it for the same reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think it was designed to be a comedy,
Yeah.
but fuck, it's funny.
Yeah.
So that's it for another show. Any parting words before we leave, gentlemen? We would congratulate the new arrival for the big kahuna over here.
Yeah. 12, should be 12 weeks this weekend.
New baby girl. What's her name again?
Olive
Yeah, nice. That's a very contemporary name.
Olive May Legato.
Must be from
Olive May.
No,
lineage? No?
just
Not a family name?
just came up the name.
Awesome. She's got an awesome life in front of her, I can tell. You know, with some great parents as yourself and your good lady at home.
Yep.
Dan, any parting words before we leave?
Live fast, die something, and have a beautiful ending. Something.
Yeah, the Valkyrie. Any parting words before we leave?
Watch where you put your talk bar.
Yes, absolutely. Keep it in the groove.
Keep it in the groove.
And I think it was live beyond the stars, beyond space,
Beyond time.
beyond time. That's right. Which is really you're living nowhere. Okay. Until next time, we'll see you. Thanks for joining in. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
What is your fantasy? How many of you are there?